because when I came home after 8 years, I paroled out to my brother's walk-in closet.
I still got 3 years of parole left.
Disregard your backup is arriving on another call.
And I can also say that, like, to me, you hear I forget who makes these things up, but you've heard them before. Today's the present because it's a present. So I always try to tell people, don't live in the past because it's gone.
Yeah.
And tomorrow hasn't even come here, and you might not even see it. So quit acting like tomorrow's so damn important.
It might not be a good day if it does.
Well, if you get there, I think it's a good day.
This is true.
So like, to me, but don't worry about it, because again, it's all the mind. I'm worried about tomorrow. I'm worried. I'm anxious about the past, or vice versa. But it's like, tomorrow might not get here. Tomorrow's gone. Like, what's happening right now? Can you live now? Have you ever read Power of the Now?
I have.
Power of Now?
I have.
Go read that book if someone's, in a situation. Go read The Power of Now. It's what matters is right now. Tomorrow doesn't even matter.
And what you do right now affects the next step.
100%. But the now, that's what I try to live in. Like right now.
I love it.
And there's also, I think it was Dale Carnegie that has a book where he talks about worry. If you learn to compartmentalize worry, you're much better off as well. Because people are facing a jail sentence. I go to trial in 6 months. Dude, your 6 months is miserable up until then. When in reality, you could have had 6 of the best damn months of your life
if you got convicted and got to sit up the river or whatever they want to call it.
But you're worried, and again, that worry and that mental anguish is what ruins people, and it ruins their ability to win when they get out, and it's all self-induced. When we're born, we have a gift. It's called free will.
Okay.
So the free will is just the ability to choose.
Yeah.
So once you realize, sometimes you need age, which I have, to realize this. Because I didn't realize this growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I'd have made way better choices.
Yeah.
That's why it's called hindsight.
Yeah, so take it from me, it boils down to the power of choice, which is free will, which is God-given, which means everybody has the power to choose, and nobody can take it from you. Like, they say, well, if you're in prison, you can't choose. Yes, you still can choose. So at the end of the day, nobody can take your power to choose, and the choice is the power. That's the key. That's the power. That's the power within you're supposed to tap into. But nobody realizes it's just so simple as choice. So you can choose who you hang out with. You can choose when you quit.
Even in prison.
You can choose what you read. You can choose what you listen to.
Yeah.
And all of that is what determines everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, I choose to be rich or I choose to be poor. No one would choose to be poor. Yes, you will. Yes, you do. Yes, people do. They choose to be poor by quitting. They choose to be poor by hanging out with losers, and they choose to be poor by not being ethical and having integrity and working. And the little choices that you make may be insignificant day to day, but collectively, it's those choices that will determine whether you're rich or poor or healthy or unhealthy or loved or hated. It's your choices. So if you can just figure out that, you now have the ability to do anything. So whether you went to prison or not, irrelevant. You could not go to prison and still be screwed.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, you're not screwed because you went to prison. You're screwed because you're allowing that to affect you.
Can you say that again? Because I think they need to hear that.
Yeah, they're screwed because they're allowing the fact that they went to prison to screw them.
Absolutely.
And they're choosing that. Here's what I always like to say. Number one, I always teach habits. Like if you get into routines are good. Okay. My morning routine, I call it the $1 million morning. Here's why. Number one, when I open my eyes, I gotta get myself to ultimately vibrate in what I call heavenly frequency. Because frequency is serious.
It's real.
Everybody has frequency. And your frequency determines what you frequently see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You like that one,
I
don't
love
you?
it.
So at the end of the day, because you're like a preacher kind of.
Oh, well, okay.
You know what I mean? That's why he liked that no conviction.
Yeah.
But your frequency is what you frequently see. So if you're frequently focused on issues and problems and challenges, well, guess what you're going to get more of? Because what you emit is what you get. So you have to emit positive. So when I wake up, I know how important it is to operate at what I call a heavenly frequency. So gratitude is amazing. The power of gratitude, my God. So I wake up every single morning and I think to myself, and this is what helped me realize how valuable it is just waking up. And it's, if I gave somebody, especially if they just got out of prison, here, I'm going to hand you $1 million. Dude, they'd be elated. They'd be excited. Nothing would bother them. They think their whole life's changed, right?
Right.
But if I said, I'll give you $1 million, but you can't wake up tomorrow, would you take it? So waking up is worth more than $1 million?
No, it's not.
No, waking up.
Oh, yeah, waking up is worth much more than $1 million.
Yeah, so like
Steve Jobs.
people
he
don't
would trade in all that money if he could still be alive.
100%. So like people don't realize how lucky they are just to wake up. You don't need anything good to happen. It already happened. So now you've got this gratitude, extreme gratitude for waking up. Well, that instantly creates your vibrational frequency in gratitude, and now you're operating in heavenly frequency. And now all you have to realize is everyone in the world is going to try to get you back to what I call earthly frequency, which is the doubt and the depression and the fear and the worry and the anxiety and the uncertainty and all that crap. And then you're like, wait a minute, everyone's going to try to get me down here. Whose choice is it?
Right.
It's mine.
It's yours.
So like, I'm not going to let you have my power of choice.
Yeah.
So you could come into the room and do whatever you want to do. I'm not going to allow that to affect me. Now, again, is it easy?
No.
Once you realize it's just a choice, it gets easier. But, someone walks in and pisses you off. Did they piss you off, or did you choose to be pissed off?
That's what you do with it. Absolutely.
At the end of the day, you chose to be pissed off. I can't piss you off. You can only piss you off. So if, well, he came in, so I punched him and I ended up in jail. Because that's victim mentality. It's because you chose to allow him to piss you off.
And you chose to hit.
See what I'm saying? So once people realize this is like, oh my God, like, dude, it is up to me.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is up to you. And what's up to you is everything. At one point I chose I'm going to be rich.
Right.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
So I chose it. Okay. Now there's no other alternative.
Yeah.
So now I chose to be ethical. I chose to work. I chose to not quit, not go home, not get mad, all that. And collectively, it boils down to what happens.
Yeah.
So if there's people out there, they've been to prison, so, like, boo-hoo. Like, if I were you, I'd keep your mouth shut about it. Now, some people say, no, you need to turn that into your story. Well, again, you can win that way, too.
It depends on which person I'm talking to as to when I tell it.
Well, to me, it's like, listen, I could have came out and said, hey, I've been to prison, and now look, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
To me, it doesn't register. It was A, so long ago, and B, it truly doesn't matter. But there's people that think it does matter, so maybe that's the person that should embrace it and turn the mess into your message, right? Like, own it. Be proud of it. Start a show called Felon to Fabulous. You're not going to hide it. And then again, at the end of the day, who cares?
You know, I want to say something. You said it was profound because you said that every day you're choosing how you experience that day.
Yeah.
And it reminded me, when my children were younger, it was summertime, and we were going to go to the amusement park. I don't remember if it was Six Flags or whatever it was, but I made the mistake of telling them in August or whatever month ago, we're going to go to Six Flags. Every day they were like, oh God, I can't wait till we can go to Six Flags. I don't want to we don't get to go to Six Flags. You can do anything you want today. You can go to the swimming pool, you can go to the park, you can play on your game. Yeah, but we're not at Six Flags. If we were at Six, and I realized the biggest mistake was telling them about Six Flags, because now they're only thinking about what they can't do as opposed to everything they can do. And then Six Flags came and went, and then I wish we were back at Six Flags, right? And so the idea that every day you get to choose that day. And it doesn't matter what happened. I was working with a doctor, and he was driving to work, surgeon, and he slammed on the brake. I don't know why he had his coffee in the middle of his pants, his lap, but the lady slammed on the brake, and he slammed on and popped the lid off the coffee, and it spilled on his pants. All day long he told that story. And every time he'd tell the story, he'd get mad all over again. And he said, I've just had a terrible day. And I was like, well, you didn't have a terrible day. You had a terrible moment that you chose to nurse all day. Like, you didn't have to tell it again. You didn't have to say it again. And sometimes they use that story, whatever it is, whatever happened to them, whether it's prison, whether it's relationship, whether it's whatever it is, to give them justification to not be excellent that day, to not have a good day, to not enjoy that day, to not move forward, to just be stuck, to keep telling the same story. When, in the end, it was just something that happened. I was in third grade. But what does that have to do with today? It's third grade. Now I can say, well, but yeah, I was in third grade and my teacher said that I'd never amount to anything. So, or it's just today. And I think what you're saying is, today, you can choose anything today. You can choose to be better today than you were yesterday. You can choose to be worse today. You can just choose to say, I'm going to team up with some different people or make some different choices. But in the end, whatever you choose, it's still your choice. And no choice is still a choice. You're choosing not to choose. But it's still, that's the choice you made.
Yeah. And so, again, that's in everybody.
Yes.
So when you hear, it doesn't matter if you're black or white or female or transgender or all these things, it doesn't matter. You still have an opportunity. True. True. So at the end of the day, my morning routine is to wake up with extreme gratitude. Now, for a while there, I put a sign on my wall to remind me, congratulations, you get another day.
Yeah.
So I'd wake up and I'd start thinking about the car payments and the child support and the pressure, and then I'd look at the sign and I'd go, oh yeah, all right. Like, dude, I get another one of these. Because if you think about the money, most people like money. And this is the biggest light bulb for people. If I gave you $1 million, what would you feel like? They'll be like, oh my God, that would be amazing. I'd feel so relieved. Oh my Lord, the world would just brighten up and everything would be great. If I told you I'd give you $1 million, but you can't wake up, today's your last day, would you take it? No. So waking up, just knowing that you get the day is worth more than $1 million? Well, yeah. Well, then how come you don't act the same every single day?
That's a good point.
Exactly.
Because they take it for granted. They don't realize, dude, you already got a gift, bro.
Yeah.
You just won the lottery. You woke up and you're healthy and you're able to walk and talk. Well, what if I'm in prison? Same thing. You
still woke up.
You got time to exercise. You got time to better yourself. You're not in there forever.
That's where my best growth came.
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, it's all mindset. It's all perspective. It's all how are you looking at things? And you go look at these self-help books, be positive. Well, before I'd be like, well, you be positive. You're not in jail. That's victim. Be positive. Be correct. Be positive. That's your frequency. What's your frequency will determine what you frequently see. So you wake up with extreme gratitude, and then I personally have 4 things that I do every single morning, period. Number 1, I focus on my health, because without that, you're willing to give up all your money, that's for sure. And then I focus on, and by the way, how do I focus on my health? I don't need money for a gym and all this fancy equipment, dude. I move my body and elevate my heart rate for a 30-minute period. Walk the damn lot, do some push-ups, especially in prison without weights. Come out of there yoked as hell. Why? They're doing push-ups, so I focus on my health. And then I focus on my money by writing down 5 things I'm going to do before I go to bed that are going to drive me money today. And then I focus on relationships, because at the end of the day, relationships are more valuable than all of them. So I focus on relationships by texting 5 people that I don't want anything from. I just want to tell them, love them, miss them, appreciate them, how can I help you? Don't want anything in return. Because that's what builds the relationship.
It does.
And if I ask people, hey, someone that every time they call you wonder, what do they want? Because they only call when they want something.
Yeah.
We all know people like that. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, that's me too.
Everyone answers my calls because I'm not calling because I need something. And people know that. So I focus on relationships, and then I focus on my mind. Why? Because, dude, this right here, if it had all the knowledge it needs to know, I'd have everything I wanted. Mm-hmm. Well, if I still want things, well, I need to know something that I don't currently know. Yeah. So I read 30 pages of a book, period. End of story. Like, it's not, with this Sunday, I don't care what it is. I'm waking up, I'm focusing on gratitude first. I'm going to get that energy, which fires me up, and I realize, man, I'm so lucky. I leap out of bed and say, let me hit that freaking, 30 minutes and get my blood pumping, which has never been a regret. And then I go, freaking, let me reach out to some people and tell them I love them and miss them and appreciate them. And then freaking, let me read. Let me get some of that new information, because the new information is what I'm looking for. I don't need the same information. I need new information. Well, you know where they keep this stuff called information? In books. They're in books. So I just crack a book. Self-help. I've had people think that meant reading the shampoo bottle while they were, taking a deuce, but no, it's self-help books. So I look at psychology, human behavior, sales, persuasion, biographies, stories about real stuff, and Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends, Influence People, The 4 Agreements, As a Man Thinketh. I could keep going. The Magic of Thinking Big. Like, I could rattle off 100 of them, because I read every day.
Right.
And every day, my life gets better and better and better and better and better. And everyone out on the outskirts will be like, yeah,
you're lucky.
Yeah, you're a lucky guy. And it's like,
Must be nice.
I am, and the more I do these 4 things every morning, the luckier I get.
People always say it's because you're rich and good looking, and I say I haven't always been rich. and now I'm getting too old to be good looking. So eventually, guys, you're going to realize it's all excuses. You're a victim, and that's the problem. Quit being a victim. Quit being a victim. Especially me. I didn't do anything, and I went into prison. So what? I did a bunch of shit I got away with. So guess what? We're even Steven. Move along.
But you're not letting it stop you. You're not letting it hold you back. It's not keeping you stuck, and you're not using it as an excuse to move forward.
Well, fortunately, now I can say that, yes. And it could have went the other way.
You could have.
But fortunately, somehow, some way, I ended up doing okay. But it wasn't fate. It was because I made the choices.
You got off the couch.
I got off the couch. I was a little bit more ambitious than the normal person. I realized that I needed to monitor what I'm reading, what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, who I'm hanging out with. Like, again, there are a lot of people, they'll never go anywhere because the people around them are never going to let them. And once you realize that, like, these are my high school friends. I don't care if it's your brother and your mom.
Yeah.
Like, if they're the ones holding you back, get away from them. You can always go back. You can love them from a distance.
Visit them once in a while.
Yeah, go back and help them once you help yourself. But, like, get out of the wrong environment. Start reading books.
That's what we teach at our other sister company, the B2Y. That's exactly what we teach. Move it out.
And you know what's
somewhere else. Change your address.
And what's funny is, like, I didn't make any of this up, but I'm evidence that it works. And dude, anybody that's started down the personal development path starts to realize, like, they didn't make any of that up, but the shit works.
It works.
So then when we turn around and start trying to help other people, hey guys, look, come this way. They're like, you're trying to get my $97.
Yes, and you have something coming up with Coach Burt, don't you?
Well, Coach Burt has something coming up with me.
Okay, well, there we go. The two of you are doing
It's
the
his thing.
mastermind?
No, it's his thing. I just
Oh,
go,
you just said the $97, so maybe. think
Why, is
about
it $97?
It's $97.
well, that's only because he couldn't get $9.97.
I spoke on a stage with Coach Burt about 2 years ago with Chris Cumbie, and I know you know Chris as well.
Well, everybody needs a good coach in life.
They do.
Yeah, Coach is a good dude. He's out there in Nashville, and he invited me to come out and talk about personal branding for his person of interest at the Greatness Factory. It's actually a fun deal. Nice facility. It's only $97. Because what I'm bringing out there is basically what I've sold for $5,000.
I'm sure there's going to be an upsell somewhere.
Maybe. If it's Coach Burt's event, he's going to have other opportunities
Yes.
that might be more than
The
$97. But,
Facebook ads say $97, so I'm sure there's other opportunities.
well, again, that's a hell of a deal because, like I said, I'm bringing my whole playbook on building a personal brand, and anybody that does what I'm telling them to do will build their personal brand, and that personal brand is massively valuable. People asked me the other day, your net worth, and what's your most valuable asset? Which company you think's worth more? And I said my most valuable asset is, other than obviously health and family and all the crap that is obvious, but asset-wise, personal brand. My personal
I
brand.
agree with that.
Yeah, like right now I could raise money for charity. I can reach 1 million people without paying a dime. If someone else without a personal brand wants to reach 1 million people, that's a lot of money.
That's right.
Well, it can happen, but it's going to
not
cost them.
happen without paying.
I mean, this is low right now on my social media, and I say that because it's usually twice this. I think I'm being suppressed because I've been talking about some things that they don't want me talking about. But like right there, professional dashboard, 20.3 views in 30 days.
Yep.
20.1 million in 30 days.
That's a lot.
Fantastic.
That's powerful.
That's very powerful.
This is a radio station. This is a this is a
News station.
broadcasting
Yes.
station, and it's free. So again, why wouldn't anybody go build their personal brand? It's crazy. The more people that know you, the better off you are. So, and you don't need to know everybody; they need to know you. So I have a plan. That's what I'm going out there to bring. It's how to build your personal brand, just like I did, and just like I helped a lot of other people do. And it's not easy. It's not overnight. You're not going to do it in a month, but it's the process. And if you learn the process and do the process, it's just a matter of time. It could be 2 years, 3 years, but 3 years is going to be 3 years from now anyway.
Absolutely.
So, like, to me, it's like, shit, if he's selling those tickets for $97, whee, that's a deal. Number one, I'm going to be there.
Right.
That's already a deal. Number two, I'm going to bring that, and that is a deal. Because if you only learn that,
You're bringing something that works, that's been proven.
yeah, and most importantly, when you guys go to these events, my suggestion would be, of course, listen to the speakers and gain that information, but meet people. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. And you know that's a fact. If you'd have shook more hands last year, you'd have made more money last year.
That's exactly right. You also don't know who they know.
And literally, the more hands you shake, the more money you make. So if you knew you got paid $50 every time you shook a person's hand,
You'd be
regardless,
shaking everybody in that room.
you'd be out hand gliding, you'd be
Yes.
shaking everyone's hand, you'd be walking around. People think you're crazy,
Yeah.
and you'd make more money. So
Yes,
like, it's so easy when you start to realize, like, man, this is not that difficult. Life is not that hard. We're making it difficult. Especially like if you've been to prison and you get out and you have that limited mindset and you're like, oh, no one's going to trust me, and you don't trust yourself. At the end of the day, a lot of times people will sabotage success because they don't feel deep down that they deserve success.
That's right.
And they don't even know that they don't think that, or that they think that. So like they're really in a trouble situation because they're not even aware, and awareness is the first step.
Yeah.
You got to get aware that you don't believe you deserve this. So I boil it always down to one thing: relationships. You know, the most important relationship other than God is the one you have with yourself. And so it took me a while of inner work, which is where the answers are. They're inside. Don't ask me, don't ask you, ask yourself. But that inner work to build the value of me to me, I think is the most valuable anybody can do. And that's what they're really not doing. They think, you know, oh, Ruben ain't gonna hire me because I'm a felon. And like, I must think that's something low and disgusting. Right? So now I'm ashamed. I don't want to tell you. So now I'm not being honest. And it's like, dude, you just keep digging yourself a hole. Who cares? I went to prison.
You're
Big
doing it
deals.
to yourself.
Yeah.
For me, I heard somebody else sharing my story or telling my story, and I thought, wow, that's somebody I could get behind. Wait a minute, they're talking about me. And maybe I'm not this loser. I'm not this POS that everybody thinks I am.
Yep.
I can do something with myself, with my life, and I can help others. And that's what we're doing.
So the relationship with yourself is what I'd be focused on in the beginning, because even if you go do all these other things and things just never seem to work, it's probably because as you start to go in the right directions, your subconscious mind starts to say, you're not worth it.
Really bad.
And they're like, don't keep doing that. Don't hang out with those people that are good for you. Maybe you need to reconsider getting back with this dude that used to beat your ass, or this guy that used to frickin' get you in trouble. And next thing you know, you're right back where you started. You can't figure out why. It's because you don't think you deserve it, and because you haven't done the work. You haven't went and number one, I always say, the first thing you need to do is forgive yourself, and that would include going to prison. Like, forgive yourself, bro.
Yeah,
No big deal.
Absolutely.
Then once you forgive yourself, you have to literally, in my mind, confidence comes from the memory of winning. So you have to start racking up the wins. Well, how do you rack up the wins? Who decides what a win is? Well, you do. So I started saying, you know what? Brushing my teeth is a win. And drinking water instead of Coke is a win. And doing my morning routine is a win. And obviously, you know, getting a sale is a win. And next thing you know, dude, I was winning 100 times before it was 10 a.m. in the morning. And I'd walk in, people, what are you so excited about? What are you so confident for? Dude, I'm crushing life. Well, what'd you do? I brushed my teeth. And then people would be like, oh, that ain't winning. Brother, that might not be winning for you, but trust me, it's winning for me. And not only that, I go to these conferences and people come up and want to talk to me. And I'm thinking, dude, it's probably a win for you too, because they don't realize, like, their breath smells like ass. So it's like, listen, you gotta lower the bar when it comes to winning, because if you win all day long, you are more likely to start feeling like a winner. And then you start to set up a little bit taller. And then you start to look around and you start to look at your car and your life, and you're like, dude, I can do better than that. Man, I deserve better than this. You know what I mean? I'm better than this. And all of a sudden it's like, there you go. But what happens is when you start feeling that way, the people around you will start, who do you think you are, Ruben?
That's right.
Ruben, I think you need to calm down with all your bullshit,
Are you
brother.
sure that's something you want to do?
Yeah.
Dude, you know this isn't, dude, this ain't a good look, bro. And all of a sudden you know, oh yeah, I better just calm back down.
You know, it's interesting because I believe that the physical mimics, the mental mimics the physical and vice versa. And let's say you needed a liver transplant or a heart transplant or a kidney transplant. They would do the type and cross, the type and match, type and screen, figure out the exact person that can donate the kidney or liver. And they can do the transplant operation. And even though you needed it to live, your body will start to reject it. But it's what you need to live, but your body rejects it. It's like the changes that we make. It's what we need to thrive, but your mind will start rejecting it. And what they have to do is they have to treat the body so that it doesn't kill the organ. Because your immune system sees it as foreign. And it doesn't care if it's good for you or bad for you. It's foreign, and it's designed to attack anything that's foreign. So they have to treat your immune system to accept this foreign organ that's going to help you. I wrote in my book, The Viral Success System, you have to treat your mental immune system to accept this new habit or this new ideology or this new relationship, because if you don't, it's going to attack it because it doesn't believe it's you. This isn't you. Come on, we don't do this. But once you do it enough through the treatment, which is like you're talking about reading, surrounding yourself with different people, putting yourself in different relationships, then it becomes normal. And then once it becomes normal, winning becomes normal. And then you want to win again. So I love what you said, because it's right on point with the idea that we give too much credence to the past and we worry too much about the future.
And what other people are
And what other people are thinking.
Yes.
This is a present. How are you going to use it?
Most people also fail to understand the mind controls the body, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So again, the mind controls the body. That means the body will do whatever you tell it to do. The mind controls the body, right? Who controls the mind?
You do.
You mean you can't control my mind? I can't control your mind? The government tries. Guess what? Nobody can control your mind except you. So who's responsible?
Yeah. And if you don't control it, it'll run out of control. It's not going to do what's best for you automatically. It's going to do whatever it wants you to keep you safe, which is just be this. Don't step out there because you might get your feelings hurt. You might get embarrassed. They might talk about you. So it's designed to keep you right over here in this shell so that you don't get talked about or feel bad or get hurt. And so if you don't control it, it's going to control you.
And when I first got out of prison, I filed a lawsuit. And it wasn't about the money. But my rights, again, were violated inside of this federal holding facility. And because I was just a detainee, I was not an inmate, I was able to vote in the 2016 presidential election. But they wouldn't let me. And I should have been able to do it through absentee ballot. So when I got out, we sued for that, did a class action lawsuit, and the settlement was now in federal holding facilities across the country, you can now vote if you're a detainee. It wasn't about the money. It was about the right that they kept taking from us. Even as an inmate or a detainee, you still have some rights. But my family didn't want me doing that. My daughter, I remember her calling and she says, "When are you going to stop being in the news?" I said, "Well, what now?" She said, "Why are you suing them?" And I said, "Because they violated not just my rights, but other people's rights. And this isn't about the money." And there was no money involved in it. It was purely to get them to open that door open for those folks.
Well, maybe it's another episode, but
And the ACLU picked it up.
you know, again, I'm not a.
They don't pick up things like they used to. That's kind of a big deal.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a personal believer that your vote doesn't matter anyway.
You're right, but for me at that time, I thought it did.
Yeah, well, it doesn't. I don't believe it does. Number one, it doesn't in reality, meaning when you vote for a president or a vice president, your vote literally does not determine
That's true.
who they are, who gets
That's
selected.
right.
It's the electoral college that does. So when you vote for a president, you think your vote is being tallied. Number one, that's been
It's
proven
not.
corrupt.
That's
Number
right.
two, your vote wouldn't count even if it was legit. Why? Because the electoral college exists, and they're the ones that vote for those two
That's
positions.
correct.
So your vote might count in your local government, but it doesn't for president and vice president. So when you say, okay, all these felons can vote, dude, who's counting?
I agree.
And who's counting the count? Because bullshit.
I do agree.
Okay, everybody in the country votes for the right to bear arms, and if you don't vote that way, you're dumber than a box of rocks.
Amen
Because
to
if
that.
you take the guns away from citizens, who has them? Dumb people will say police. No, criminals.
Yeah, they're not giving their-
They don't follow the law.
Yeah, they're not giving their-
Okay, so when you vote to take away the guns, you're only voting to take them away from the people that follow the law.
Us. We have the guns legally. That's right.
Right, the ones that don't follow the law will have the guns, you dumbasses. So again, you can't get rid of the Second Amendment. So it's like, and that's why I think a lot of these, laws have been put into place where you don't even realize you're breaking a law. Next thing you know, you're a felon. It's like, why? Well, can't have a gun. Oh, isn't that convenient?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, listen, folks, if you're out there and your limited thinking is causing you to think you can't because it doesn't matter what the because is. going to prison? Do you think that's the only problem people have? There's people, same problem as ex-cons that think they're limited because they're short. They're limited because they're black. They're limited because they're women. They're limited because they're a hillbilly. It's all limitation.
It's right here.
And in reality, there's been proof after proof after proof after proof, but we still want to deny. Why? Because it's easier to feel good about our freaking lack of success. It's easier to say, well, dude, I'm a felon, so I don't have the same chances. Yeah.
Well, I refuse to accept that.
So did I. Well, I mean, I didn't really focus on it.
I didn't either.
Like when I went in and came out, I was like, oh, thank God that's over. Next. I didn't even think about it.
I had a short period of time that I did, and it wasn't necessarily that it was me thinking that it was my family trying to keep me protected. Maybe you should just go get a job and be quiet. But that's not who I was, and so it didn't happen. And I'm thankful, and now they're thankful.
So this podcast is a good thing. You guys should try to get it syndicated in a million different households.
I met Kevin Harrington a few years back because I thought maybe he could tell me how to do some things. And I will tell you that going down there for this led to us hiring them for Becoming the Better You, which also led to us being a partnership at Big Brand Ventures. So you never, as a felon, and guess who does their training? So they're not a client. Just saying.
Well, I have a badge because I was wanting to be a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Some mayor heard me speak at some point and came up afterwards and said, hey, you seriously always wanted to be a police officer? And I said, yeah, that was my dream. Like, I thought being a cop was the coolest thing ever. So she had somebody there with her, and so they swore me in and gave me a badge. And I'm like, clearly thinking this is just, honorary type, ceremonial. No, it's a real badge. Nice. And she didn't realize it, but she swore me in actually. Yeah. So I talked to another buddy of mine that was in the FBI for 20 some years, and he read the thing and heard the story, and he's like, well, dude, I don't know if she's aware, but like if you took that oath, then you're what's called a sworn officer. And she gave you your badge. And it's all on video. And I have a thing from the state of California signed by the sheriff or whoever it was and the mayor. He goes, Brad, I'm telling you, like,
you're an officer.
You are a sworn officer. And I'm like, that's crazy. He goes, why? And again, like I said, most people don't know I have a felony. I said, because I didn't know cops had felonies. He goes, well, they don't. I said, they do now.
I love it. Well, Brad, tell people where they can follow you at.
I always just say Google me because I'm everywhere. And if I'm not there, tell me and I'll get wherever you didn't find me. But Google Bradley, Lea, you'll find me. Bradley.com, The Real Bradley on social media. Dropping Bombs podcast. Just Google me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Thanks for
having me.
Thank you for your insight.
Yes.
Keep doing the good work.
Or do you want to be the person that's helpful, that soothes, that loves? Because you can still stand tall and be as big as you want to be when you are this person.